So right now, we're all kind of feeling like AI is bad, right? Many of us don't like it. If your mom knows about it, she probably doesn't like it. There's tons of surveys being like, people are just not that crazy about what's happening right now with AI, especially in the broader world. Maybe for like small things in medicine or whatever, but right now how it's being deployed, people feel threatened. They don't like it, and it's hard to blame people. But if we had to boil down this threat, the threat that AI poses, that everyone keeps talking about, I think what we'd say is the main threat that it poses is existential. But what if the immediate existential threat of AI isn't the rise of some superintelligence that's going to kill everybody, or a global depression, or an economic disaster? As truly threatening as all that is, don't get me wrong. But what if the more immediate existential threat of AI is more mundane? What if it's just much more deeply human? And what if a 12-year-old movie about space travel and parenting and a lazy-eyed 20th century French philosopher hold the key to help us understand what this threat is? Hi, I'm Brad. I'm a medical school professor and a technology ethicist. I study the social impacts of technologies like social media and AI. On this channel, I hope to teach you and your family how to outthink and outmaneuver AI and the larger kind of digital world around us. To do that, we're going to use literature and media, movies, books, philosophy, religion, whatever it takes to help us get a grasp on this and to learn how to critically reason about it. This is the first video in a series of videos where I'm going to be setting the table. I'm going to be talking to you all about the dangers and perils of AI, especially when it comes to our sense of self, our social connections, and our ability to critically think, and even the ability for us to thrive as humans. To do all that, we need to be thinking broad, like very, very broad. I'm talking like the ultimate ends of what it means to be human, and if AI fits into there at all. To help us think broadly this way, I want to explore the 4 different philosophical arguments made in the 2014 Christopher Nolan movie Interstellar about what humans are even good for. So warning, there's gonna be some spoilers in this video for this 12-year-old movie. Go watch it if you don't want them. We're not going to spoil everything, but mostly kind of the philosophical setups for the movie. When you think about the movie Interstellar, you're probably envisioning a near future where a blight has destroyed all of our crops and we have a brand new dust bowl. Or maybe you think of the grander ideas present of black holes and time dilation. Or, let's be honest, what you're really thinking about is this. But what if I told you there's a hidden narrative throughout this movie from the very beginning to the very end? And that this hidden narrative is discussing what human beings are even good for when you have AI. In the very first scene of the movie Interstellar, we see a NASA ranger piloted by Cooper, played by Matthew McConaughey, and we see it crash. But importantly, this crash wasn't caused by pilot error. Instead, it was caused when an advanced fly-by-wire system suddenly pulled control away from Cooper. Later on in the film, we learned that this was no ordinary fly-by-wire system. Instead, this was an advanced AI robot that kind of looks like the monolith from 2001 if an iPad was stuck to the front of it.
The only time I ever went down was when the machine was easing at the wrong time.
A little caution would go...
And get you killed, just like reckless driving.
Cooper, it's too damn fast.
I got this.
Should I disable the feedback?
No, I need to feel the air.
This theme of the intuitive, emotional virtues of humans versus the calculating and stoic virtues of AI run throughout the film. Different people throughout the movie present different arguments as to what the heck humans even bring to the table in a world populated by artificial intelligence. These philosophies are espoused by 4 different parties. First, we have the 2 school teachers. Second, we have the older Professor Brand and Dr. Mann. Third, we have the younger Dr. Brand. And fourth, we have Cooper. Each party presents a different view of what human flourishing looks like, especially when we're on the edge of extinction. So let's get to the 2 teachers. Early in the film, Cooper meets with these 2 teachers because Murph got in trouble in school. During a heated exchange, the 2 teachers present their ideas for what should be expected of and for this rising generation.
We got Tom's scores back. He's gonna make an excellent farmer.
Yeah, he's got a knack for it. What about college?
Well, the university only takes a handful. They don't really have the resources
I
to...
still pay my taxes. And where's that money go? There's no more armies.
Well, it doesn't go to the university. But Coop, you have to be realistic.
You're ruling my son out for college now? The kid's 15.
Tom's score simply isn't high enough.
What's your waistline? Oh, what, 32? I'm about 33 inseam.
I'm not sure I see what you're getting at.
You're telling me it takes 2 numbers to measure your own ass, but only 1 to measure my son's future?
Come on. You're a well-educated man, Coop, and a trained pilot.
And an engineer.
Okay, well, right now, we don't need more engineers. We didn't run out of television screens and planes. We ran out of food. The world needs farmers. Good farmers, like you and Tom.
Uneducated farmers.
We're a caretaker generation, Coop. And things are getting better. Maybe your grandkids will get to be
We done here, sir?
No. Miss Hanley's here to talk about Murph.
Murph is a great kid. She's really bright, but she's been having a little trouble lately. She brought this in to show the other students the section on the lunar landings.
Yeah, it's one of my old textbooks. She always loved the pictures.
It's an old federal textbook. We've replaced them with the corrected versions,
Corrected.
explaining how the Apollo missions were fake to bankrupt the Soviet Union.
You don't believe we went to the moon?
I believe it was a brilliant piece of propaganda that the Soviets bankrupted themselves, pouring resources into rockets and other useless machines.
Useless machines.
And if we don't want a repeat of the excess and wastefulness of the 20th century, then we need to teach our kids about this planet, not tales of leaving it.
There are 2 important points in this exchange that show the teacher's philosophy of what they expect for human flourishing. First are that humans are caretakers, that right now they're meant to just try and scratch out a living in a world that really doesn't want them to keep being alive. Second is that humans need to focus on immediate needs and nothing more. This can be seen in the quote-unquote corrected federal versions of textbooks, which try to downplay human accomplishments like, I don't know, going to the moon, in an attempt to try and keep the public docile. And docile especially about the potentials that they might have as a public. Pure, terrestrial, political needs rule the day with these teachers. So our teacher's philosophy is one that is rooted in maintaining some sort of status quo. This might all seem like, fanciful science fiction, except that as I'm recording this, the Artemis II has landed, and during that flight, we had similar arguments about what's the point of this? Don't we have problems here on Earth? Why are we spending all this money to go fly around the moon? Interestingly, those are the exact same arguments that were made in the 1960s during the Apollo missions as well. More to the point of what we're actually talking about today, there are currently CEOs of AI companies and tech companies that are just brushing off concerns about massive job losses, or just saying, yeah, those are inevitable, whatever. These CEOs are casually talking about the destruction of entire industries, the destruction of coding, the destruction of entry-level jobs, the destruction of creative industries. But they're promising us that, hey, just hold on, have your entire world turned upside down, and maybe in the future, you'll get a job babysitting robots or something. Sit back and relax and don't rock the AI boat. Number 2, we have Professor Brand, played by Michael Caine, and Dr. Mann, played by a surprise Matt Damon. These two both present an argument that is similar but also kind of distinct from what our teachers were talking about. Like the teachers, Professor Brand and Dr. Mann present a very limited view of what human flourishing might look like, but theirs is even more rudimentary. Instead of preserving the status quo, Professor Brand and Dr. Mann are only concerned with maintaining the human species, our genetic materials, even at the expense of those living on Earth. Throughout the film, Professor Brand keeps reciting the same poem over and over and over again.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end, no dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning they. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
One of the central themes of the movie, urging the human race to not just give up in the face of global catastrophe and extinction. Later on, a very similar thing is said by the par-baked potato, Dr. Mann. While talking with Cooper, Dr. Mann discusses why they couldn't send machines off to visit all these distant planets.
You know why we couldn't just send machines on these missions, don't you, Cooper? A machine doesn't improvise well because you can't program a fear of death. Our survival instinct is our single greatest source of inspiration. Take you, for example. A father with a survival instinct that extends to your kids. What does research tell us is the last thing you're gonna see before you die? Your children. Their faces. At the moment of death, your mind's gonna push a little bit harder to survive. For them.
For Dr. Mann, the ultimate asset that humans have over machines is our sense of survival. For him, our survival instinct dominates all of our actions, even our morality, even why we have children. Professor Brand and Dr. Mann's is a philosophy of pure genetic survival. Echoes of this philosophy can be seen in pro-natalist concerns in our day right now. Of course, many of those pro-natalist concerns also have a good dash of eugenics in them, which is something we'll have to talk about at another time. But at its most base, these pro-natalist concerns are about the loss of social utility in the rising generations as there's just fewer and fewer people. At its most existential for AI, Professor Brand's and Dr. Mann's fear is that humanity is going to be replaced by synthetic superintelligences that we created. At this point, any semblance of humanity, even just our genetic materials, would be intrinsically valuable. All of our accomplishments are only valuable insomuch as they push our genetic heritage past the finish line ahead of our own creations. All right, number 3. The younger Dr. Brand, daughter of Professor Brand, played by Anne Hathaway, has a very different idea of what makes humans unique and valuable. There is an infamous scene within this movie. And I know the writing's ham-fisted and maybe Anne Hathaway's acting's a little cringy, but we gotta let it go for a second. We just need to stop and look at it and really try and see what it's trying to talk about.
You once said that Dr. Mann was the best of us.
He's remarkable. And we're only here because of him.
And yet here he is. He's on the ground. And he's sending a very unambiguous message telling us to come to his planet.
Granted, but Edmund's data is more promising.
We should vote. Well, if we're going to vote, there's something you should know. Brand, he has a right to know.
That has nothing to do with it.
What does? She's in love with Wolf Edmonds. Is that true?
Yes. makes me want to follow my heart. But maybe we've spent too long trying to figure all this out with theory.
You're a scientist, Bran.
So listen to me. When I say that love isn't something we invented, it's observable, powerful. It has to mean something.
Love has meaning, yes. Social utility, social bonding, child rearing.
We love people who have died. Where's the social utility in that?
None.
Maybe it means something more, something we can't yet understand. Maybe it's some evidence, some artifact of a higher dimension that we can't consciously perceive. I'm drawn across the universe to someone I haven't seen in a decade, who I know is probably dead. Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space. Maybe we should trust that, even if we can't understand it yet. All right, Cooper. Yes. The tiniest possibility of seeing Wolf again excites me. That doesn't mean I'm wrong.
Honestly, Amelia, it might.
In this scene, Dr. Brand gives an impassioned speech about the value of love and human connection. But Dr. Brand's philosophy seems to be a love at all costs philosophy. In that scene, Dr. Brand is arguing that they should go to Dr. Edwards' planet, even though it had worse statistics than Dr. Mann's planet, and they could only go to one of them. And the reason that she gave for why they should go to Dr. Edwards' planet is because she's in love with Dr. Edwards. So the type of love being espoused here by Dr. Brand is an exclusive type, one where your main concern is only for your immediate loved ones. Dr. Brand's philosophy of love and connection really is an extension of her father's and Dr. Mann's plan B, where instead of saving the people on Earth, we use a population bomb or genetic material to repopulate new planets. Dr. Mann even says so.
Your father had to find another way to save the human race from extinction. Plan B, a colony.
Why not kill people? Why keep building those damn
Because
stations?
he knew how hard it would be to get people to work together to save the species instead of themselves. Or their children.
Bullshit.
You never would have come here unless you believed you were going to save them. Evolution has yet to transcend that simple barrier. We can care deeply, selflessly, about those we know, but that empathy rarely extends beyond our line of sight.
In the face of hegemonic systems like AI, it sure is tempting to just narrow our focus down to just our loved ones, to ensure that our loved ones and the people that we care about are taken care of. The rest of the world be damned. At its most extreme, we may even want to secure the welfare of our loved ones and people we care about at the expense of other people. We might be clawing and kicking down to make sure that our loved ones end up on the top of the heap. That brings us to number 4, Cooper's philosophy. Throughout the film, Cooper shows concerns for bits and pieces of a bunch of different philosophies here. He certainly is concerned about human survival, and he most definitely is concerned about the connection that he has with his loved ones, especially Murph and what's-his-face? Sorry, Timmy. The movie's ending even hinges on his connection with Murph. So it may be easy to assume that Cooper shares Dr. Brand's philosophy of exclusive love. But Cooper's philosophy is much more expansive. To see this, we need to look at a pivotal conversation that happens at the beginning of the movie.
I hear your meeting at the school didn't go so well.
You heard? It's like we've forgotten who we are, Tom. Explorers, pioneers, not caretakers.
When I was a kid, it felt like they made something new every day. Some gadget or idea, like every day was Christmas. But 6 billion people. Just try to imagine that. And every last one of them trying to have it all. this world isn't so bad. And Tom will do just fine. You're the one who doesn't belong. Born 40 years too late or 40 years too early. My daughter knew it, God bless her. And your kids know it, especially Murph.
Well, we used to look up in the sky and wonder at our place in the stars. Now we just look down and worry about our place in the dirt.
Notice here that Cooper's ambition goes beyond just himself or even his immediate family, though his father-in-law seems to think that this is just mere self-ambition. But Cooper wants for the whole human race to aim for the stars and not for the dirt. He says, we have forgotten who we are. We used to be explorers. We used to be pioneers. We used to look up to the stars in wonder. Cooper doesn't seem to think that he's somehow special. Instead, he thinks that this level of ambition is an inherent part of being human for everybody. And it is here, finally, where we come to what I think is the core, immediate, existential threat of AI. Good enough. AI produces results that are, by and large, good enough. Do you need a mediocre essay written for you for class? Or do you want an uncanny video of Tom Cruise hugging a younger version of himself for some reason? Well, AI has you covered. Do you need a bland but acceptable business presentation? Or a just nice right down the middle idea for your next meeting? Well, AI has you covered there too. Do you want to find out that your mole is actually not a tumor without having to go to the doctor? Or do you have crippling depression and anxiety and want help on the cheap? Well, AI is there for you. Hell, you don't know what to write in your grandma's birthday card or how to comfort a scared child? Well, let AI do it for you. It has never been easier for humanity to find our place in the dirt across all sorts of different avenues of human connection and creativity than right now with the rise of artificial intelligence. This is the existential threat of AI. Good enough. And the existential threat of us accepting en masse what is just good enough will impact every other thing that we're scared of. It impacts environmental degradation. It impacts job loss. It impacts just allowing companies to go and build whatever they want, including weaponry. From our work, to our art, to our healthcare, to our sense of truth, our overall acceptance of just grabbing what is good enough and regurgitating that is a threat. Interestingly, the worry about the existential threat of accepting what is good enough is not new. Let's talk about that lazy-eyed French philosopher that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Sartre, and his idea about bad faith. In his 1943 book, Being and Nothingness, the French existential philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre introduced his conception of bad faith, which he has said has come to dominate all of modern life. Sartre's notion of bad faith are those times that we lie to ourselves in order to spare ourselves inconveniences or short-term pain. But these short-term gains come at the expense of long-term contentment. Operating in bad faith are those times in which we force ourselves to believe something because that belief is easier than the truth. For Sartre, we use bad faith in order to deceive ourselves, especially about our possibilities and current condition in life. We often consign ourselves to our current positions by pretending that there aren't any better available avenues for us. We try to limit ourselves as mere objects being forced by nature or by society to do or be or accomplish certain things. Sartre, on the other hand, viewed people as radically free, but argued that we deny ourselves this freedom and hem ourselves in through bad faith. Simone de Beauvoir, Sartre's longtime romantic partner and renowned philosopher in her own right, added some important insights to Sartre's philosophy. For you see, living without bad faith can also make us selfish and distant. Being unwilling to conform to society may lead us down a path to being misanthropic sociopaths. and at the end of the day, to be all alone in our supposed freedom. She recognized that my freedom is not divorced from your freedom. Rather, my freedom and your freedom and everyone's freedom is entirely conditioned upon the freedom of others. If the future is not open to everyone, it certainly isn't going to be open to me or to you. Thus, true freedom is relational. Freedom is collective. Like Cooper, we should all feel existential dread as we watch our society slip deeper and deeper into bad faith reasoning and accepting good enough. That our ambitions and freedom should be sacrificed on the altar of good enough, should be sacrificed on the altar of easy conveniences, of easy search bars, of easy essay writing, of easy art. I think the existential dread of good enough in AI has already started. For example, the New York Times investigation recently found that the AI summaries at the top of Google searches are accurate about 90% of the time. Not too bad, right? Well, until you realize that there are 5 trillion Google searches every single year. What that means is there are tens of millions of wrong answers in these AI overviews every single hour. Hundreds of thousands of them every single minute. Still, studies have found that people tend to trust what AI tells them without a lot of question. One report found that only 8% of people actually double check any answers that they get from AI. Worse, experimental data finds that people will accept wrong answers from AI 80% of the time, even if it goes against their own thinking and intuition and experience. These users not only mindlessly follow AI, they tended to be more confident in the answers, even when those answers were wrong, than the people that didn't use AI. Researchers have coined this tendency cognitive surrender. Okay. So conversely, maybe now you're tempted to just avoid AI altogether. But AI at this point is just unavoidable. Even after all this hype and the bubble of AI bursts, AI is likely still going to be embedded in our everyday life. We're going to enter what experts call a plateau of productivity, where AI is going to be a mature technology that's just in the mainstream. So you and I need to learn how to avoid the easy path of the good enough existential death. Or, as put very nicely in a different movie, Blackberry.
Mike, are you familiar with the saying, perfect is the enemy of good?
Well, good enough is the enemy of humanity.
If you like this video, stick around. Future videos will not just be pissing and moaning about AI. We also provide you with some concrete philosophical strategies for boosting not only your critical thinking, but also keeping your humanity while you traverse and battle the digital jungle. See you next time.